right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps. I'm John, Pro Craps here. So today we're gonna break down some slow motion throws. And when I say that, hopefully I don't want to give you the wrong impression. These are not actual slow motion throws. So I want to make sure I clarify my plan for the day. But I talk an awful lot. Good morning, Scone. Like, how are you doing? I talk an awful lot on the show about controlled shooting and dice control and dice influences about being different things. And I've got this whole series on dice control where I'm going through what dice control kind of is and what the goal is. But through that, I've been talking a lot about controlled shooting and the way that I throw. And I mention this a lot when I talk about reducing energy and this kind of, sorry for the glasses, the way that I approach my shots. And what I thought I would do, because I'm putting together the next in the big dice control series where I do break down slow motion. And I wanted to show you some shots from Friday. So on Friday, of course, I was shooting live and had some pretty good shots. I thought that my throws were kind of on point. And I thought, let me just break some of those things down. So what I did is I put a small video together where I show a shot and then I'm going to show it to you at like 20% speed. Now, we can break down to our best ability here what you're seeing in a minute, but it's not, I didn't shoot it in slow motion. So it's not shot at like 200 frames per second. What I'm going to show you here is shot from my camera, and then I'm going to slow the video down. So it won't be a great look at the slow-mo, but it's going to be enough for us to kind of get, hopefully you get the theory of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to break down a couple of shots here and show you what that looks like. I did a poll last week where, and again, I did the poll. Hey, Chris, how you doing, man? Good to see you here, and Joe as well. I did a poll last week where I'm like, hey, what do you think about dice control, real or fake? And it was basically a binary choice, like one or the other, and it was about 60-40. Greg at 555 did a poll last week too. And again, we're just getting the ability to do polls on our channels now, which is kind of cool. He did one, he gave 4 choices. Like, do you believe in dice control or not? And then I kind of believe it, and I'm pretty sure it can work a little bit, or I kind of believe it and I don't think it works at all. So it's kind of what you'd expect to see, right? There was definitely the outliers, right? The 20% yes, 20% no. And the rest of us are in the middle. We're like, I'm open to seeing what it does, but I'm sure or not sure. So hopefully today we'll unlock some of that. And again, I'm not trying to teach dice control by any means, but I do want to explain what it is that my brain is going through as I go this. So let me start by saying this. I have been using the words less than random. So let me go to this screen here. I've been saying we can reduce randomness, and people are like, you're an idiot. You can't reduce randomness. Random is random. You're right. But let's look at the possibilities here. So on a regular shot, you've got 2 die, each have 6 sides. No disputing that. That's what they are. There are 36 combinations between the 2 die. That's also not up for debate. And when one die lands on the 2, let's say, the other die 100% of the time has the match. Also not up for debate. That's the way that dice work. You cannot escape those realities. However, if what I can do is say after, or even like whatever the first die does, let's say it hits the wall and doesn't spin a whole lot, and the second die doesn't spin a whole lot either, if I can only show 4 sides of the dice when they land, right? If I can only have 4 sides exposed, then my total possibilities, my total combinations is 4 if I only show each 2 faces from each die as I'm coming to a stop. And I reduce from 36 combinations to 4 combinations. Okay, that's the essence of what I do, my version of a controlled shot, which is I'm just working on, right now my focus is energy reduction. Okay, and if you can reduce the energy, you can reduce the number of possible combinations. Now, this has nothing to do with controlling the setting, anything other than what happens after the back wall hit. And that's all I'm looking at is how many faces can I expose or not expose to being able to land up or down after my back wall hit. And that's the element of control that I'm going for right now, the controlled shot. So the result of that, if I can make the second, once the first die is down, if I can make the second die only show 1 face, hit the wall and land, right? I've taken 83% of the ways, 5 of the other faces out of the mix, right? And if I can take 5 faces out of the mix when the dice come to rest, I've reduced my chances of the 7 not only by the 83%, right? But also you got to have the perfect match as well. So it's 83% times 6. Really take it down to the infinitesimal size. And that's what I'm really going for here. So let me show you some video. I'm going to switch over here. I may lose my audio for a second, but I'll catch back up with you. There we go. Okay, let me rewind that. So this is a shot from the other day. This is, again, I'm going to my Friday videos. So what I did here was I literally took my Friday videos and I chopped it up from last week. And I have like 5 shots here where I'll show you the shot in full speed, and then I slowed it way down. It's blurry as hell because it's not shot in enough frames per second to see, but it'll be sufficient for us to look at what I'm trying to produce here. So let's take a look at this first shot. I'm going to hit play, and then I'll stop it afterwards. Okay, there's the shot. And for all intents and purposes, that's a legal shot. It hits the table, both dice hit the back wall, both dice bounce off the back wall, and we have a result. And that's the way that you have to shoot. No, Skill, this is not on axis. And I mentioned that earlier. I'm not looking for on axis shooting at all. This is purely a controlled shot. I'm looking for just energy. I'm not looking at any setting. I'm not looking at flat landings. I'm looking at only what happens after the back wall, because I think that's the thing that I can actually control here. So here's what I'm doing. That's the first shot. Hits the wall. Now let's take a look at what the dice do. I'm going to replay the same shot in slow-mo, and we're going to break that down. That same shot, slow motion. Okay. Let's focus in first on the left die, the one that's up with the number 1. I'm going to rewind a little bit. I'm going to try my best to frame by frame this thing. So here they come. And the left die, when it hits the back wall, again, we're looking at only what happens after the back wall hit. So it's on the 5 right now. It hits the back wall, and when it comes off the back wall the other direction, you'll see that the 6 is the one that's showing on it. So it goes from 5, the 6 shows, and then it lands on the 1. So it hits the back wall, there's the 6, and then it stops on the 1 directly. So off the back wall, 2 faces were visible. The 6 as it hit, and then it rolled over to the 1. Showed a 6, a 2, and then a 1 as it came to rest. The second die will hit the wall here. You'll see it hits the wall. The 3 is up when it hits the wall, and it stays on the 3. So that die only ever showed 1 number. So between the 2, after the back wall hit, 1 die showed the 5. It was on the 5. It showed the 6, the 2, and the 1. The other one just showed the 3, and that's it. So by throwing it softly the way I did here, I reduced from 36 possibilities down to 4 possibilities off that back wall. And again, that's the notion of the reduced energy shot. That's the reason why I throw the helicopter, or why I roll in the underhanded toss. I'm trying to reduce the energy to keep this right here is what I'm going for. I have no idea what's coming. I don't know what the 3 or 4 faces are. And Dylan at Skill and Luck asked me about this being an axis shot. It's not an on-axis shot. I have no clue what's coming. I'm saying to you that I'm going to get a random result out of 4 possibilities versus a random result out of 36 possibilities. And that's the base of how I shoot. Here comes another shot. We'll just play a second one through here. Maybe. Here it comes. Okay, same deal. That first die actually had a little bit of action to it. Let's take a look at the first die. The one over here on the left-hand side, that is number 3 on the 3. The 5 you'll see does the same thing. The one that's on the 5 pretty much doesn't spin at all, which is good. Let's look at the one with the 3. I'm going to fast forward here a little bit. Let's get to the slow motion version of it. I guess that was the fast one. Let's give it a second here to wind up. Here's the slow-mo. Okay. I'll rewind it a little bit. Let's try and frame by frame. And again, look at the dice with the number 3 on it. So it's going to hit the wall here. There is the hit. Now, as it hits the wall, the number 1 is up. And you'll see that as it comes off the wall, it's coming off kind of on an angle. It's going to hit on its corner, which is not what you want, obviously. That's going to cause a little bit of more spread. But you can see the 4 is up. There's the 6. It's going to roll over, and I can't see what's there. There's the 3. and it stays on the 3. So, and the one on the right, the 5, as it goes into the wall, it's going to hit the wall. I can't tell what numbers. It looks like it might be the 2, and it bounces off to the 5, and it just stays there. That one with the 5 never actually turns over. So just like the 3, it hits the wall, and it sticks on that number, which is what I wanted. The first die probably had 4 numbers show. Again, it's a little blurry to tell. I think it probably had about 3 or 4 numbers show on the top as it came off the wall. And again, that reduces me from 3, let's say it's 3, worst case on that left die, 1 on the right die. Again, the chances of making a 7 out of 4 faces showing or 4 faces possible is different than the chances of a 7 showing when there's 36 faces possible. So hopefully that's sort of giving you a window. We'll go ahead and let it roll. Here's the next shot. And that one looked really random, right? That one, they hit kind of high, actually. I ended up with a 1, 2, 3 here. Let's look at the slow-mo on this one and see what we have on this guy here. And I'll let it come in first, and then we'll break it down. There's the high wall hit. There's a low wall hit, and it lands on the 1, 2, 3. Now let's go back a little bit and try. I'm going to look at the die that's on the 1 over here first. That's the one I think that did the most moving. Let's look at that one first. That's when it hit high. So here it hits high. And again, you can't tell what's up there, but here's where I'm counting faces, right? It hits, it rolls off that back wall. There's at least 1, 2, 3. It hits the table with a 5 face. There's probably 4 faces that showed there. Hits the 5. You can see the 5 is still up. It rolls over to the 1 is showing, rolls over and stays on the 1. That one probably showed 6 faces, but they were all in the same kind of rotation. I think the 2 on the side never showed up. The die on the left, which has the 2 on it, hits the wall with the 6 facing up. It comes off the wall. There's the 4. It rolls over to the 2, and it stays. So the left die only showed the 6 up when it hit the wall. The 4 came up off the wall, and then it rolled over one more time, one fourth of a rotation to the 2. And that's the essence of what I'm trying to do here. I hope that makes sense, everybody. I'm looking at some of the comments here. And yeah, and there's comments about this. This is very true. Do they care about the back wall being hit, right? And I think that the notion in my casinos, as long as both dice hit the back wall, it's good. They don't have to hit the pyramids. They have to hit the wall, period. There's no like, you got to hit it at this speed. There's no they have to come off the wall by so many inches. There's none of that stuff. So anyway, that's sort of a breakdown of what I'm trying to do with my shooting. I got another 13 shots here that we could break down. Let's go to the end here. Let's look at this one. What is this shot doing here? That's awful. But if you look at that slow motion, again, the right die, and for some reason my right die doesn't do a whole lot off the wall, but here's another great shot where it's the right dice that's on the 6. Let's see what it does. It actually hits the wall right there. It looks like the 2 is on top. The 2 is on top, and it rolls over. There's the 2, and it goes right to the 6. The other one hits it. It comes off the table with the 1 on top. It goes to the 5, and it goes to the 5, and then the 4. Looks like the 1's up, then the 5, then the 4. So again, these 2 dice between them created only 4 possible combinations. Four faces showed between the 2 dice. So that's only, and with one of them only rolling over once, it's only 4 possible combinations. So again, that reduces it, and I think that's the essence. Let me go back to my own face here. To me, that's the essence of controlled shooting. Now, again, I'm not at all taking into account anything with regards to grip, release, initial hit, the set, if it hits the pyramid, square. None of that is being accounted for here at all. This is just what would happen after the wall hit, because that's really where you regain your control. And I think George has said this before. You have control from the time that you release the dice. You can control everything up to your release point. And after that, you have to trust your mechanics worked. And if they don't hit the table square, everything is random. If they hit the table perfectly square, you might be okay. When they hit the back wall, they get re-randomized, unless you're precise, perfect on the back wall. So there's going to be randomness imparted on the dice after the table hit, randomness re-imparted on that back wall hit, and randomness reimparted again when they hit the table the second time off the wall. That's what I'm focused on. My entire way of throwing is focused on what happens after the back wall. How do they hit the table? And what am I controlling after they hit the table? And you'll see that on some of those, my dice actually spun kind of on the points, which isn't good. If they spin on a side, you end up getting a little bit less spin because the edges will dig in. The long edge will dig into the table and rock the dice back to square. If it's on a point, it goes anywhere it wants to. So that's the essence of it. So hopefully that explains better what I'm trying to accomplish here. And again, I'm not looking at setting. I'm not looking at trying to put myself into any kind of a groove in terms of what numbers might come out. I'm literally just trying to stop them from rolling so that I can take away a number of faces from ever being possible. And if that 5 shows up on the first die and I can hide the 2 on the second die because it only rolled over once, that's good, man. I don't care if it turns into a yo or a 4 every single, or whatever. I don't care what the number comes out to be. As long as it ain't a 7, I'm good. And that's kind of what I'm trying for. So hopefully that sort of clarifies a little bit what I'm trying to do. Hawaii Craft, Christine the Wall is my version of a double tap. That's true, man. That's just like, that's the way I think to shoot this thing. And this is 100% what I'm trying for with the chopper or the Apache toss, right? It's when I'm doing the underhand tosses, what I'm trying for is this kiss in the back wall, super slow motion. Now, guys like George and Brian, Brian, by the way, great show last night having Howard on. The guys that are really skilled at the other parts of the throw, they're trying to do more ahead of the back wall in terms of the set, the rotation, the impact, and all that to control what might happen after the back wall hit. I'm still at my career in this, whatever, of dice throwing, trying to control just the energy. If I get the energy right, maybe the other things can happen. But like I said, I'm trying to hold the 7 off, and that's my number one goal. I don't care what numbers come. As long as it ain't the 7, then we can bet, and I'm happy with that. And that's, again, what I'm going for. So when I shoot back here at the table, you'll notice that I'm always surprised at what numbers come up. Like, I never know what's going to happen. I just know that it's hopefully not going to be a 7. So when I throw 19, 20, whatever, I never know what's coming. I don't think the set that I choose matters the way that I throw. I think I'm just trying to keep myself from getting whacked, and that's really what it comes down to. So anyway, that's my story this morning. Hopefully that helped to break down just those couple of shots. I've got more of them, and we can do more and more of that if you want to. But I think it'd be fun. Let's go to the table. Let's go ahead and throw a little bit. I had not yet warmed up this morning. I literally overslept again. We had a late night last night. We were watching the Seahawks game. They were on Sunday Night Football. This is like October 18th or whatever, 2021. So we watched the Monday night or the Sunday night game, and late night for us here, and got back, and we're sad that they lost, but it is what it is. All right, so let's go ahead and throw a little bit. And what I'm going to do, Hawaii Craft Shooter says, if you throw numbers that never match your dice set, wouldn't setting all 7s make sense? Probably. And again, as you see when my dice hit the wall there, Brian, there's no knowing what's going to happen. I don't know what number is going to hit, because when they hit the table, they might roll over once, twice, 3 times before they hit the back wall. I have no way of knowing what's going to be the number that's up when they hit the back wall. So it's impossible to tell, I think, what's going to happen when they come down. So I find myself not worrying so much about the set. I do the set for comfort reasons more than actually like targeting reasons. So what I'm going to play today is this. I'm going to go back to playing kind of the way that I would normally play in the casino. So I'm going to step up to the table here and not know what I'm doing. I am going to do our favorite strategy, always. This is my new forever go-to. We're going to go ahead and lay the back wall for sure for 180. I keep counting my 5s wrong. We're going to go 180 across the back wall. It's going to be a lay bet, only for the come-out roll. We're going to hope for that 7. I've got 5 sets here of $30. So we're going to try this, and we'll go up to 5 points. I can replace, I'm going to lose 30 every time we get a point. I'm going to use these to replace whatever gets hit up here. That's 5 shots at making 120. So that's 180 plus 150. And I've got 5 shooters worth here. And I've got 8 chips per shooter, 8 units per shooter. We're going to do, I'm going to start off with the Hedgeless Horseman. straight up out of the box. I don't know what's going to happen. Actually, what I might do is do the border strategy. Like I said, when I first go to a table, I have no idea what I'm going to shoot like. I'll go from the don't for sure. I may go with a come ladder of 4. As a matter of fact, I'm going to do that. I'm going to go come ladder 4, and if I happen to roll well, this will be good for us. If I roll like crap out of the gate, it's going to be bad. But let's do that. Let's come ladder it to start with, and then we'll go ahead and try and switch out and get some better right side play after that. So we'll see. Yeah, crap, Joe, man, that Hawks game sucked last night, and unfortunately, you know, missing our quarterback sucks. Our backup quarterback's not awful, but it's a big drop when you lose your guy. So here we go. Scott, you're right. The whole point of dice sets is to hide numbers, right? The whole point is you're going to hide numbers on the sides and the outside and inside. But again, I'm not to the point where I feel like I could A, do that, and B, rely on it. So what I'm going to do is I set the dice here. I'm using the if you can see my dice set here. I'm using the 3-2-1-3 set, which is a VDC set. And again, I'm not pretending that I can do this well. I'm trying to literally control the back wall like I showed. So I'm gonna shoot the Apache today from the right side here. I'll start my first shooter that way. I will probably switch to the other side of my table and do the underhand toss later. So here's a come out roll. And what I'm going to do for the come out roll actually is I lied. I'm going to go ahead and do the all 7s because on the come out roll, I'm trying for a 7. I'm going to roll the all 7s. I'm going to do it par style, which I'm not very good at. So hopefully, because I'm bad at this kind of throw, we'll get a 7 out of the gate. We don't. We get an 8. Where's my puck? There's the puck. Okay, point's going to be 8. We're going to lose $30. And we're going to pull the lay bets down. And in my rack, I'm going to put them here and just behind those numbers, or those other chips for the next time out. Since you can't turn lay bets off, we're going to have to pull them down every time, which kind of sucks. So we're on the don't. For a quarter, we're going to go come ladder from the don't. So the first bet's going to be a one unit come bet. Let's get our dice set up here. And again, we're not going to go too long this morning, primarily because I have to go to work. So, but I want to make sure that we rolled a little bit today. Here we go. Dice are out. Okay, right away, 5-2-7. That's good. Again, that's my first throw of the day here. So it's a 5-2-7. So it is what it is, right? We get paid in the come, we get paid in the don't. So for that shooter, there's a $50 profit out of the gate, which again, I think I'm going to move my camera there. Let's go ahead and get that right. There we go. I'll take the profit, but I don't love the toss. So that is, I guess take the good with the bad. Let's go ahead and put our lay bets back out here. Go back across the back wall. And I got one more. There. So we pulled out one. I think I've miscounted somewhere here with those secondary hits. But back on the back wall, we'll do one more from this side. And again, I'll do the all 7s for you. There it is. Par toss. And that's going to be a hard 10, which hopefully ends up being good for us in terms of producing a long roll, because 10s are hard to make. So we're going to lose that. We'll pull those down. And we're going to come back out here. Again, we're still on technically shooter number 1 here. So again, I didn't put my don't pass bet. Sorry, that has to be out there. Again, we'll do the come ladder again on this guy. Let's see if we can't get a couple of rolls here. I might actually switch let's see how this first roll goes. Let's just see how the dice come out. Come ladder, the nice thing about it is that it attacks the 7 pretty well. The bad thing about the come ladder is that it's really susceptible to short rolls. And again, being so early in the morning here, my roll will likely be pretty short because I haven't warmed up at all. So let's just see. There's a hard 8. That's good. That'll move to the 8. Let's go ahead and stay with the ladder. Since I said I was going to do it, I'm just going to do it. So there's 1 unit here. I haven't done the ladder in a while. So when you have the way the come ladder works, you always increase what you've got here by a unit here. So 1 requires 2. So 1 is an even bet on a 7. We're going to win a unit on the 7, an extra unit there. So that's the way the come ladder works. It's been a while since I've done this on live with you. So here we go. Let's get. All right, so 5, 1, 6. So the 2 come bets actually worked out kind of okay, right? 8 and a 6 are pretty solid. Now we're going to come up with 4 units because I've got 1, 2, 3 units in action. 4 units is 1 unit better than what I have out here in action. And when I run the ladder, if I get the repeats, what I typically do with it is I don't go past 5 units. I've played this before where I've had, as you're chasing the units, the unit count out there, you'll get up to like 10, 15 units sometimes, and it gets to be a little too much to chase. I won't do that. I think at some point it's a negative return on that, so I just don't. Here we go again. Let's try and get a repeater here. This would be great. Get a nice repeater. That was a pretty high toss. A little too much bounce for me, but it ends up with the okay result. It's a 9. So now the come ladder is in danger time. We've got three units set out there, 3 bets out there on the ladder that are progressively big, right? The 8 has 1, the 6 has 2, the 9 has 4 units on it. I've got a don't pass with just single unit don't pass. There's no odds there. It might be smart to lay some odds on that one. I'm not going to because my budget per shooter in this strategy was 8 units. So I'm not going to dip in and grab more money to lay here, although that might be a good thing. It might not be bad to take my profits and lay $50 here. I'm just not going to do that in today's session. I feel like managing your money is the key to this game. And if you're going to budget a certain amount of money per shooter, you got to stick to that. And dipping into your rack because you're feeling something, or it might be the quote unquote smart play, ends up not being the smart play. So we're just going to go ahead and run strategy as is and just, let's get some repeaters here and see what happens. And of course, on command, we get a 7, right? Which is a bummer. We're going to get hammered here for all that. We're losing 7 units here, which sucks. We'll get paid on our don't, which again, not awesome, right? But again, shooting cold in the morning. This is why when I go to the casino, I typically don't bet heavy until I get kind of grooved up. So let's see if we can't get some help here on the back row. We'll take another shot out of here. Okay, the lay bets are going to be on. And here we go. There's going to be that. I'm actually going to switch here to this set. For no reason, 3V I'm throwing. 3V seems to be a 7 getter for whatever reason. There's going to be a 7. That's great. It's a 5. Or no, that's not 7. It's a 6. Sorry. My eye's playing tricks. 4, 2, 6. Boom. On the 6, we lose 30. Take the lay bets down. I'm going to pull up another shooter here. Okay. And let's go again. Oh, I should have on the don't. I keep forgetting that don't pass bet because I'm talking. We're going to go, this time I'm going to switch and throw from the right side. And I'm going to go straight up horseman here from the right side. This is going to be the underhanded toss. I'm just going to switch and practice from over here a little bit. And we'll do this, this underhanded toss. And I'm going to run straight horseman. I'm not going to take any odds. We'll see if we can't turn this thing into some numbers and convert it into place bets. And that'll be a goal for us here. So let's go ahead and get our dice out. First toss from this side today. It's going to be the shocker. 1, 2, 3. So we get burned in the come here. Not a great shooting day for me so far, but it's okay. It's Monday, it's early in the week, and I have not been down here for a few days, so it's expected to be a little bit dry here. Let's go. Better looking throw. That's a 6. 5-1-6, which, you know, that was our point. It's going to go to the point we're going to lose our don't pass. So far, this shooter is not working out so well for us. What I'm going to do here is, because it's a come out, we're going right back to the back wall lay. Now, this may be silly, but again, I do this kind of thing, especially in practice, to keep myself challenged, right? I'm trying stuff out here. And again, it's just what I would do in the house, right? People say, how do you play in the casino? This is how I play. Laying the back wall on the come out rolls. There's a 4-1-5. And easing into everything else. So 5 is going to be our point. Again, we lose our lay bets. And the lay bets now are getting close to being at this point where they would be diminishing returns. We're getting down there to where our wins aren't gonna get us anything out of what our losses were. So, all right, we're gonna be back to the horseman here. So now we got a point set of 5. We have 1 come bet set. We're on our 2nd come bet. And again, this Hedgeless Horseman strategy is really good on the super short rolls, the 1s, 2s, and 3s. It gets squirrely when you get past that 3rd roll. And again, when you're random like we are here, it's really tough to kind of gauge. And it's a really good kind of temperature gauge, to use Greg's words, of how the table works. Here's get paid on the 6. It goes up to the 6. That comes back to the rack. We make another one here. And if you're keeping score, that would be our 2nd come bet that's out there in action right now. I don't go for 3 come bets in action. I do 3 come bets in total. The way I play this, I don't go and do progress. I don't do this kind of dice route. Neither one of those dice hit the wall. That's actually a no roll. Let's do that again. I don't do these continuously. I do 3 total, and that's really it. And again, it's a budgeting thing. It's a way that I manage my rack, and that's how I keep my bankroll kind of in check. As I budget a certain number of dollars per shooter, and that's how it works. There's another 6, a 5-1-6. It's like 3 6s in a row here. So if you are a place better, you're kicking my ass right now. So that goes to the 6. This comes down and gets paid. And there's 3 come bets that got paid, or I used 3 total come bets. I'm done now for the shooter as far as come bets go. If you look at my profit side here, we've collected 8 units back, which means, although I'm not perfect, I've gotten back a full shooter with the money. So we got whacked earlier on the come ladder. We've earned 1 shooter's worth of money back, and I've really got 2 chips in the rack and 2 chips out here at play. What I can do with these 2 chips, again, I budgeted 8 per shooter. I'm not going to go through the come again. This could be like that. I could go place 9, place 8 type of thing and start moving into a place better type of mindset. I'm going to take 1 more shot and watch my dice and just see if I'm starting to feel like I'm throwing them a little better before I do that. Again, I'm just kind of warming up here, and just, like I said, I don't know what I'm likely to do. I've had a couple of bad rolls, so I'm not going to throw good money out there after bad to see what happens. That was actually a good call. It ends up being a 7. And again, this will lose, and then that gets paid. So that was actually a wash, and we have 4 units left. So if you look at where we started, where we are, I've got 4.5 shooters. I've only burned $100 so far. We had 3 really awful rolls. And again, part of the allure to me of the horseman or the come ladder is exactly this. These randomly length rolls, you end up getting burned so bad on a 4-length roll. It's the only strategy that keeps you halfway in the game when it's so ugly. So here's the all 7s. We're going to backhand par shot it. It's a 4-1-5. So I have not yet hit the home run on the back wall, which is, it is what it is. There's that. We'll lose that. We'll take these down. And I got one shot left at this, right? I've got one more shot at the back wall. I've tried it 5 times. I will not go past that 5th time. Leave this here. We're going to bring up our next, I again forgot the don't. Keep doing that. Don't passes there. We're going to go horseman. And, you know, the Hedgeless Horseman on the right side, what I have done in the past, and I know that Dylan does this too, where you could actually preset some numbers and let your come bets knock those numbers off and have some instant profit. I'm not throwing good enough to do that. And this is the kind of thing where I say folks in the dice control community can be their own worst enemy sometimes because you're overbetting your skill. This is a case where the right side play is to do exactly that. Put numbers out there, let the come bets knock them off, then use those to press. I'm not rolling good enough to do that. I'm also not rolling bad enough, I think, to lay on the don't just yet. There's a 4-3-7 right out of the gate. PSO out of the box. So that's going to be this right here. We're going to take 2 units in profit and put that one back over here for the shooter. We'll stay on the don't. This is my last time doing this. If I don't hit the back wall here, I will not go back to the back wall. I keep losing my nickel. I won't go to the back wall again until I've earned at least 30 bucks. So again, bankroll management. You know what's going to happen, right? If I do that, I will have a come out 7 the first time I don't do this. But here we go. Let's go come out 7. Let's get one right here. 4-2-6 instead. So we're going to lose the back wall, one of them. I'll keep that there. I will not go to the back wall again until I've got 30 bucks in wins here, which I don't yet have. This has been kind of a grinder of a day. And I always ask you this, right? How would your strategy work with me rolling today? Like Friday, we all would have made a lot of money. Friday, I had a 19 roll and a 13 roll before I turned the cameras off. Today, I don't think I've rolled more than 4 once, right? And that happens. Here we go. Underhand toss. It's a 5-1-6. So just like the last hand, we hit the point immediately. So we're going to lose our don't pass. And our first comeback travels to the 6. We're back on the don't. And here is where you certainly don't want to see the 7. You have a comeback that's live, and we also have a don't pass that's live. So I'm really kind of susceptible here. This might not be the worst time to drop some action on the hopping 7s on the come out. I'm not going to do it, but I know those of you in the audience, Chris, I'm talking to you. I know that you would do that. You definitely hop the 7s. I typically don't until I get to 75 bucks. When I'm at $75, that's when I start hopping them. 15 below, I just don't. I'll take my chances. There's a 4-2-6, which couldn't have been better, actually. I didn't pull the puck off, but that's now the new point. Sorry. That's actually going to get paid. So we'll take that back to our rack. And I have a don't 6, which is not the greatest, but it is what it is. We're going to go ahead and roll through here with the horseman. Let's try and get 3 come bets set and repeating. That's going to be my goal here. If I can get them to repeat, then I can transition to place bets. Here we go, dice are out. Shocker, 1, 2, 3, which is a bummer. We lose that. And we'll come back out. Okay, there's that. All right, here we go. Okay, 4-2-6. Boy, I'm hitting that 6 like crazy here. All right, that goes to the 6. Lose our don't again. We're off. I almost want to switch to the pass line here. As a matter of fact, I think I will. One of those things where if you're noticing a trend, you got to kind of jump on it, man. There's just, you know, not that these past results have any indication of what's going to happen, but things do happen in clusters. I'm just going to try and hopefully hit on a cluster here that works for me. There's a 5-2-7, which doesn't get us a win, but it saves this loss. This one goes away, but that one gets paid in the pass line. So again, we'll take that small victory and be okay with it. And again, we're doing pass line winners here, right? We made 3 points in a line winner. So if you can hop a trend while it's happening, hop on it, right? And again, there's no way to detect a trend. There's no way to predict a trend. There's nothing you can do to keep a trend going, but know that trends, they do happen, right? And here it is, 2 consecutive come out 7s, and I'm not on the back wall. And that's a huge bummer. But I don't have enough money, right? I said earlier on that I was not going to do this until I earned the money to do it. I'm not in profit. Okay, if we look at my rack here, I could actually pull this. That's 8 chips there. I can pull that back, and I have 4 shooters, and I'm still behind. The fifth shooter only has 4 or 5 units. So I'm not in a position to where I can lay the back wall. And again, money management is really, really, really key to beating this game. You're not going to beat the game. You can survive the game. But if you don't manage your money well, you're going to be screwed. So here we go, another come out. That's going to be a 6-4-10. Our point's going to be 10. I don't love the pass line bet, but I got 4 units to go through the come with, and we're going to do that. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Dice are out. Let's get something good here. Another 6. I'm rolling the crap out of 6s today. Love it. That rolled over. That was a 6, not a... There we go. Going to go check chat here. Let's see. Super chat. Oh, thank you, Jal. How you doing? I am using the 3-1 or 3-2-3-1. I'll show you how it looks. I set like this. I set the hard ways to start with everything. So it's going to be a start with a hard 8. I roll this up so that I'm seeing the 6, and then I turn it towards me. So I'm seeing a 3, and the set becomes the 3-1-2-3 set. I just happen to set it upside down. That set is if you go to the VDC and CDC channel, that's his favorite set, or one of his favorite sets. He says it's got less 7s on it. I don't know if the way I throw it, if it matters yet, but that's the set that I'm using. So there we go. Dice are out. It's going to be well, look at that, 4, 3, 7 out of the gate, which is a huge bummer. So this pays that, right? I'm going to actually take it away because when you're practicing, they will take your money and pay you here. This one will also now lose. So now we're out of the positive trend, right? We had all those come out winners. We had a bunch of points, and now we missed a point, right? So if you're doing it like roulette style, where you're going to go kind of follow what came last, back to the don't we go. And again, we're looking for a negative trend to start, and we'll see what happens. My suspicion is we're going to be in a little bit of chop here for a minute, and this will be my last shooter. We're getting into the work hours here. Here we go. We're going to come out. That's going to be aces, which is a freebie. We get paid there. Just rack it right up. Okay, here we go. 6 up, 3 in. All right, here we go. Not a good throw. Point is 6, but that was really, really awful. Totally slipped out. All right, there we go. 6. I've got 5 units left for the shooter. We're going to go ahead and do the horseman again. Let's get some repeaters. I haven't had, I think, hardly any repeaters today. It's been a little ugly. 6 up, 3 in. Here we go. Yeah, another 7. It's just not my day. But you know, with the horseman, when it's not your day, you can still get paid. And that's sort of the idea here, right? They all come back. And if you look at the rack right now, we have fought back. That first shooter that we had, we lost everything. We lost a full $200, and we fought back and earned. We're back to even again, which is pretty sweet. Let's play it out one more shooter. We'll do this one last time, and then we'll call it. It'll be interesting to see these throws under scrutiny. I'm going to look at them tonight. The ones that I'm saying are ugly that are bouncing everywhere. I want to see how many faces show and see kind of how that, oh geez, and see kind of how that played out. Got that all messed up here. Grabbing the points, I find, can be difficult sometimes. Here we go. Dice are out. Oh, crap. Not on the don't. That's a don't pass bet. That's aces. It pays a unit. Let's get a point set, and we'll actually do, for fun, just so that you can see it, the aggressive way of doing this. For my last shot, again, I don't know that I would do this in the casino because I don't feel like I'm throwing well enough to have earned a chance at playing aggressively, but there's 1, 2, 3 shocker. We'll get that again. Boom, another pay. Take the free wins here. Okay, 6 up, 3 in. All right, here we go. Dice are out. That's kind of a no roll. I mean, I really shouldn't count that, and I won't. Again, part of what I'm doing here is practicing my shooting, and that would be certainly neither dice hit the back wall. It's a no roll, even though it did set a point. Just to be fair, that's better. There's a 6. All right, so what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to have enough chips in the rack here for 3 come bets, which is Horseman style. I've got another 5 here. What I'm going to do is place the 5, 8, and 9. I'm going to grab a quarter, and we'll get 30 bucks on the 8. And what I'll do here is I'll take 3 come bets and try and knock those 3 bets down. Now, this is a little bit more aggressive, and as you would probably agree with me, I'm not shooting well enough to have earned the right to do this. However, I said this last week, I think when you're shooting in practice, having some element of risk involved in your throw, that should have been a come bet, by the way, is important for as you're throwing. And of course, on command, we get a 7, which is exactly what I thought was going to happen because the way that I'm throwing here today is just not great. But we ended up getting paid the don't, you get paid in the come. 2 of those bets cover those wins. You're net down 30 bucks. So an aggressive play on a 0.7 out doesn't hurt you as bad as you think it probably would. All right, so here we are. Our rack is now down to, we are literally $10 in the hole after all that. I put that back up there. Here, oh, I'm sorry, we're $5 in the hole. So not terrible. As far as the outcome goes, let's go back to the camera here. I can wrap up. There we go. Excuse me. Not terrible in terms of overall outcome in the bank, right? We shot like garbage, which will happen, right? I didn't warm up at all. Came into this thing cold and just started shooting, and you saw what happened. I had 0 rolls that were past 5, and so we'll take that. I'll walk out of there even every day if every shooter is 4 rolls or less, and you walk away kind of okay, trying to do something positive, which is what I was doing today. It works out, right? There's going to be days where you throw better, and the aggressive play I just did would have resulted in some repeat wins, but we didn't get it, which is fine. The point of Coffee and Craps here is for you to watch me practice, and sometimes my practices will not go well, and I'm totally okay with that. I think that's the point of these episodes here. Hopefully, though, you got something out of the earlier part of the session, which was the breakdown of my throws. And today I threw, I don't think very well. I think my dice were hitting the wall too hard. I think they were hitting it too high. I think I had too many faces showing. I think it just was not good. And again, I started out with what I wanted. My practice didn't give me what I wanted because I wasn't actually kind of grooved in there. So lesson learned, right? Get warmed up first. And, you know, even if you are here, let me go back to the screen. Even if you're showing only 4 possibilities, like I was earlier today, those 4 possibilities still may be all 7s, right? The controlled shot, you know, it's a nice to have, right? You think, yeah, maybe if I can keep it to fewer combinations. Well, the combinations you end up with may be the perfectly wrong combinations. And that might have been what happened today. I'm going to break down the video and see what I did and look at those shots under slow-mo to get a kind of an example of what happened. But yeah, I think that's a really good practice session in terms of not getting great results, but hopefully got something that I can work through. And it proves to me that the strategy that I play when I walk up to a table is the right strategy. Brian would call that the qualifier, where he's got more money on the no 4, and he's going to walk away even on all the shooters until somebody does something. Essentially, I did the same thing. I walked away even on all those shooters who did nothing. And if a good shooter were to show up, I've got the money in the bankroll to attack that good shooter when it happens. It just didn't happen today, so I think that's good. Let's take a look here at some of the chats and see what I'm seeing. Waylon saying, place bet the 5, 6, 8, 9, get a hit or two. That's what I was going to do. I was going to actually try and get some, I went across there on the inside rather, and try and get a hit. I got nothing. I got 0.7 out on that. I think I had 3.7 out today, so not great. Joe is saying, as long as my come bet is equal to or greater than all the place bets, I'll be fine, which is true. And that's sort of what I try and do here is either match losses or match potential. And I think the come bet ladder that I run matches what's out there in action. The thing you got to worry about is if you get too high. So that was skill rather. If you get too high in the come bets, it becomes unmanageable. You know, you don't want to have $150 flat come bet coming through and it go into the 4. Like that, you got to be careful about that. So I try and limit the scope of where I'm doing in the come betting. I use that strategy, the Horseman, not as a way to win, right? It's a way to get started. It's a way to survive short, crappy rolls and put me in a position to go if they hit. If all 3 come bets get hit and you profited $75, now you're at 66 inside for free. Or you can turn those directly into place bets when they hit, and the place bet becomes a paid-for bet. That's where it's good. And it hunts out a trend. Again, today we caught one little tiny trend, which was good. I know people say that trending is bullshit. To some degree, it is. You can't predict a trend. What you can do is hope that you're in one. And when you're in 3 successive wins, you hope that you're going to get 3 more, because sometimes things happen in groups and you're just hoping that you're in a group of things that happen. That is what I'm always going for, is to try and find myself in that trend. And when I'm in it, you got to be ballsy enough to go for it. So that is it. Brian, I know I'm teasing your stuff. You've got something new coming up. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see what you're working on. I know you teased it a little bit. Let's check it out. All right, I'm gonna go to work. It's 9:30 now. Thanks for being here for almost an hour. These shows are longer than I'd hoped they would be every day, but I got a lot to say, it turns out, and I think practicing live hopefully is something that you like. I will put a poll out here later today to find out how live practice without a lot of strategy talk is working for everybody. I like turning the camera on and just kind of going like we did today, but it's slow. You know, I can't do, like normally when I do a strategy rollout, I can do 30 shooters in 20 minutes because I'm rolling random and it's fast. This takes a long time. So you're not getting as much action on the table, but you are getting to watch me flail about and make a fool of myself, which I think is kind of fun. So anyway, that's it. Happy Monday. I will see you all in the morning, tomorrow morning. Have a great rest of your day and a good start to your week all. And again, thanks for being here. Appreciate all the subscriptions, the shout outs, the sharing of the videos and the likes. It all helps the channel a lot. So that said, I'll see you all tomorrow morning. Thanks.